Hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Are you ready for your bad apple review? Today we're taking a bite out of your monster. This was a movie that I was able to see in a screening that is a secret movie release. So I go to see the movie not knowing what movie I'm seeing. It's kind of fun and fresh, and I enjoy doing this from time to time. So I had no idea what I was seeing before going into the movie theater. I did know it was going to be rated R, however, so I was aware of the rating. And this was a delightful surprise. I really don't know if I would have been excited to see this one beforehand, but I'm very glad that I did see it, and I do feel as though it's something outside of the box, albeit very aligned with other types of themes as far as movie-wise this fall, this season. But it's something that is fun and fresh and alternative also. This movie is 1 hour and 42 minutes. It's right in that sweet spot. That being said, I do feel like they could have probably shortened this up about 10 minutes or so, but not anything detrimental to the film. It does just kind of drag a little bit, but there's a story being told and there's character depth development, and we're really watching as the audience goer this character, the main character, go through a very traumatic ordeal, and it takes time to build that development throughout the story, throughout the plot. Our main character is Laura Franco, and she is played by Melissa Barrino Martinez. So we get introduced to the main character right away. We see her and we automatically are pulled in from the heart space wondering, what is she going through? You can tell right off the bat that she's going through some sort of trauma and that she has been impacted, affected. It's all over her face. It's like a moment of shock and awe, and us, the viewer, trying to figure out exactly what has unfolded. I will say that I loved the use of music in this film too. It was very thought-provoking, and in many instances it went along with the story, but also there were times when you're just looking at the emotional perspective of the main character, and then it's completely contradicting the feelings that should be happening on the inside. And I liked that. It showed like a struggle from the internal, trying to kind of showcase your feelings, but then having this pressure from society or just from the outside world on yourself as well. So I thought that was a fun use of music, bringing that element to the table in the film. Laura has been battling cancer. She's recently had a surgery and is in recovery. She's taking time to recover at her childhood home. Now, she's returning home and there is no one there to greet her. She has a friend. I think she would consider this to be a best friend. She does help Laura here and there, but really only does the bare minimum to be considered a friend in her life. So Laura feels abandoned, utterly alone, just getting out of a surgery. And the icing on the cupcake is that she has recently been dumped by her long-term boyfriend. Laura is an aspiring actress, and she also had a fundamental role in helping her ex-boyfriend come up with his playwright. Edmund Donovan plays her ex, Jacob, and he is moving on with life. He's starting up the play that they wrote together and is holding auditions. He's ready to move on. Laura is anything but, as she's spiraling the bunny hole of despair, depression, sadness, grief, and just really struggling to make it through each day. This movie is not going to be for everyone. It really does take a deep dive into the more feminine character, I would say, as far as feeling through your pain, feeling through your grief, and what that looks like. So I do feel as though it's important for the audience goer, the viewer, to be aware of what they're walking into, because it does get dark. It does show a darkness, a dark side of what grief looks like. And not everyone is going to be receptive to that. It does show her on her journey moving forward in the stages of grief that she's going through. For Laura, it feels like it's one thing after another. Just this endless cycle of hurt, pain, and at some point she has to really take a look at herself and ask, What am I doing? Where is my accountability? I need to stand up for myself and take charge, take back my life, because at some point I'm allowing myself to be this doormat. So as Laura is struggling to put the pieces of her broken self back together, we get introduced to the character of the monster. Monster is played by Tommy Dewey, and this is a delightful addition to the film. It is both kind of scary yet comical, interesting, very beast-like. The special effects and makeup is all really on point for this character, and I do feel as though the beast, the monster, is a very likable character for the audience. It is one where you feel more in touch with reality looking at the monster versus looking at Laura, who seems extremely wrapped up emotionally and not able to really disconnect and take a broader look at what's happening to her, as well as how she is allowing herself to be treated in a way that is not okay. Just not okay. As Laura comes face to face with the monster, she herself is grappling with reality versus imagination and struggling to make sense of, is this real? Is this not real? What's going on? As she goes further and further kind of down this bunny hole of trying to figure out and get clarity on the current situations involving her life. This movie is an anti-romantic comedy horror film, and it really does provoke. It provokes emotion. It takes you on an emotional roller coaster. It does a great job at doing a deep dive off a cliff, really pulling in the audience member, making you feel something. You feel something. No matter who you are, you will feel something for the character of Laura. It might be compassion. It might be disdain. It might be hate. It might be anger. It might be remorse. You might be extremely sympathetic to her, but you will feel something. This absolutely provokes feeling from the audience goer. You are now invested in this character, ready to watch her journey unfold, and I dare say rooting for her along the way. She has a kind heart. She's been beaten down, and you want to see her succeed as a character. You want her to get what's due to her. You want anyone that's hurt her to get their comeuppance. You really are feeling invested in the film. Caroline Lindy is the director-writer on this film, and she is really pouring out her soul when it comes to the making of this film. You can tell that she has had some similar circumstances happen to her, which I confirm by looking at some interviews with her, and she's wanting to tell a story not just of Laura, the character, but also bring a little bit of herself into the portrayal of the film. And then there's also so many audience goers that are going to be able to connect and have an understanding as well that have been through similar circumstances. Maybe not all at the same time, but bits and pieces here and there throughout one's life. Caroline also has a deeper connection. I read an interview with her, and when she was 3 years old, she almost died jumping off of the balcony of a performance of Beauty and the Beast. She stated that she wanted to get closer to Beast to console him during one of the scenes where he was upset and sad. This is what really sparked her desire for her to want to tell a story about a handsome monster, and we are watching that story unfold. So this movie really does take a fresh look at how shitty and crappy life can be, and also how shitty and crappy certain people can be in your life. It's showing and showcasing that you can't really trust everybody in your life, no matter how close they are to you, and it's really you versus you. You are the only one that's truly there for you. You have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward no matter what. Yes, there's time that you can cry. Yes, there's time for mourning. Yes, there's time for pain and sadness and for processing through grief. But when push comes to shove, it's you having to move forward on your own. And this showcases that, the reality of that, the harsh reality of that. And it's not the easiest message to have to watch. It's a tough message. It's a tough message that comes across. And I do feel that this movie takes a look at it in a way that is meant to be comedic, but also very serious in the underlying meaning. Laura is struggling to stand up and be confident and know that how she's been treated is not okay and that she is really going through some very shitty life circumstances, and it's okay to be sad. It's all right to feel through that pain, but now it's being compounded with other life circumstances that just end up being too much, and she deserves better. And that is when Monster really does come there, show up, and help her put those pieces back together, see how worthy she is of better, stand up for herself, and take charge of her life. We also see her struggling with that inner rage, wanting to really release her frustration and anger, but not knowing exactly how to do that. She's more that's been one to just kind of bottle up and push things aside and not face her feelings. Now her feelings are staring her right in the face, and she has to grapple with that moving forward. This movie is rated R, and I definitely think you should adhere to that rating. There's nothing over the top, but it does have some language, some gore, and some adult circumstances along the way. What is it with musicals this year? So I wouldn't classify this specific film as a musical, but there's music, there's singing, there's some dancing, and I was not disappointed. As far as songs go, the main song in this one really is catchy. I was singing it for a while after seeing the movie. It was catchy and I enjoyed it. Performances by the actors in this are all very well done. Really blown away by Melissa's singing voice. I think she knocked it out of the park. I truly enjoyed watching her and just her dynamic on the screen. It just comes across so well. She does a great job showcasing all of her emotions. The female characters lately that have been portrayed in film are just so above, so next level. Like, they're asked to take it to the next level, and it's like, hold my beer, you know, here I come, or hold my margarita, hold my martini. I just think they're doing a great job. All of the actresses lately that have been asked to like step it up in the realm of showcasing these like mental breaks that they're experiencing, and the pain and the sorrow and the fear and confidence issues, and trying to like bring that to the screen but also step up and be strong. I mean, it has been a delight to see, and there is no disappointment here either. She does a phenomenal job, really knocks this role out of the park. I really enjoyed it. So, is this one to see in the theaters? I would highly recommend watching the trailer beforehand. And if it's something that you're like, oh, I'm interested in this, then yes, 100% go see this in the theater. Everyone, please let me know what you're gonna do. Is this one that you want to see in theater? Are you waiting to stream it? Or is it just, not for you? I ended up enjoying this a lot more than I thought, and I think it would be a good one for a date movie too. So if you have someone that you're looking to take on a date, yes, this is a good date movie. All right, I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. I liked this movie. I did. I really liked this one. I got a smile. Raising the bar on crazy. Come on down. Let's try one more time.